Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pickdawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your basketball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Tuesday in college hoops. First up, we've got Vermont and Buffalo. This one is 6:30 Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, these are two teams that have jumped a lot of spots in the KenPom ratings just from the beginning of the season, but especially Buffalo, almost a 100-point gain for the Bulls since their preseason rating around 330th in the nation. And Buffalo is playing very well. They're an aggressive defensive team, force a lot of turnovers while also taking care of the basketball on the offensive side. They do a great job of getting to the free throw line, scoring a lot of their points there. But for me, I still think Vermont is the stronger team, stronger program, and I think we're getting a really good price with them because of Buffalo's fast start to the season. Vermont is a disciplined team. It's good, takes care of the ball, which is important against this Buffalo defense. Doesn't put teams at the free throw line too often. Good defensive rebounding team, not just this year, but in the last decade. Vermont, as far as mid-major college basketball teams go, one of the best defensive rebounding schools out there. So Vermont does match up quite well structurally with Buffalo, and like I said, the price is right. This is kind of a sell high spot on Buffalo, in my opinion. The Bulls were not projected to be much this season. Here they are ranked down in the mid-200s in KenPom. I just don't think this team is quite there yet. We'll see if they can continue to put together some really strong performances like we've seen so far, but honestly, I think Vermont takes this game and wins it comfortably. I'm going to roll with the Catamounts in this one. Next up, we've got Tennessee Martin, UT Martin, and Florida State. This one is going to be a 7 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ACC Extra. Now, these are two teams that we've already backed, a few times this season. Florida State we took against Alcorn and Florida. Those are two covers. Florida was a very competitive game late. On the other side, UT Martin, an outright upset win over UNLV. And we saw something similar from the Skyhawks last year, a team that had a lot of transfers, a lot of players, international players, subdivision, JUCO players that came in. So their projections were not the best because there was a lot of uncertainty there, but they were a competitive team early on. They had a couple of nice outright wins. They had a couple of covers on the road as pretty, sizable dogs. The rest of the season didn't go the best. It wasn't the best end of the year for UT Martin, but I do remember, as they were covering a lot of spreads in that first really the first month of the year in November non-conference play, I remember that first real tough test and step-up game against Tennessee on the road where it was a complete mismatch and it was a 78-35 final score in favor of Tennessee. And I kind of have a feeling this game could go down in a similar way. Florida State's been very impressive. They're a good shooting team. They've been excellent fundamentally. They, like I said, played very competitive ball against the Florida Gators in a packed O'Connell Center rivalry game. They were getting 17.5 points. It was anybody's game really in the last 5 minutes of that one. So Florida State's been impressive against the spread. I don't always love backing undefeated teams against the number because sometimes it's tough to find value with those teams. But Florida State's playing with a lot of momentum. They've got a lot of rest. They haven't played in a week. And at home, I think they put together a blowout win at home. So give me Florida State. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we've got IU Indy and Charleston Southern. This one's 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Now, these are the 319th and 320th ranked teams in KenPom. So very, even matchup in terms of skill set, but different styles of play. And I do think that the matchup benefits IU Indy. These are two fast-paced teams, but IU Indy, of course, could be the fastest team in the country. They're an aggressive team. They force turnovers, but they do a pretty good job of taking care of the ball. At least better than what you would think for a team that plays at a pace like this. And they're a potent offense. I mean, they're a pretty good shooting team from the perimeter, but they score a lot of their points via two-point field goals, a lot of fast break buckets. I think that benefits them here against Charleston Southern, who, I think IU Indy wins the turnover battle in this game and is going to score a lot of points in the fast break. Charleston Southern's defense has given up a good amount of points via two-point field goals. On the flip side, Charleston Southern, a very good three-point shooting team, not so great via two-point field goals. And IU Indy's done a pretty good job of pushing teams off the perimeter, forcing turnovers that way, but also, they have given up a lot of easy buckets down low. The problem is for Charleston Southern, that's not really their game. I mean, the offense has really struggled, honestly, via, inside the paint. The front court has struggled a bit, and I don't love Charleston Southern in the half court in this game. I think IU Indy is going to be able to take advantage of those situations. So the biggest question for me with IU Indy is, can you minimize the damage on the glass? Because Charleston Southern is the much better rebounding team in this one. IU Indy has struggled, badly on the defensive glass this season. So as long as IU Indy doesn't get crushed on the glass, I think they walk away with the W on the road. I like their chances to score a ton of points in this game and pick up the W, so give me the Jaguars on the road. Next up, we've got Kansas and Duke. This one is going to be a 9 p.m. Eastern start time. It's going to be on ESPN. It's also at Madison Square Garden, so a neutral site game in this one. Two great programs going at it. Should be a great game. And Duke is ranked 5th in the AP polls, but number 1 in KenPom, I think for good reason. This is a dangerous Duke team. A 15-point blowout win against Texas in the first game of the season. It was a competitive game through the first 30 minutes or so. Duke was able to find a way to pull away and win that game and cover the spread. I honestly think something similar happens here as Kansas, we saw there in their one step-up game against North Carolina. It was a 13-point loss. It was a close game for the majority of it until the very end. But it was also a situation where Kansas shot 12 of 25, 48% from three-point range. They had a big day from the perimeter, and it was the opposite for North Carolina. They really struggled there. And despite that, Kansas still only scored 74 points and still lost the game by 13. You're looking at this matchup now. Duke's a good three-point defense. Their team is going to be able to score the ball against any opponent this season. So unless Kansas goes crazy from three again, which I don't think so against this Duke defense, I just don't see how the Jayhawks can compete for 40 minutes. I think that Duke has a big advantage in the turnover battle. Kansas has had some big issues taking care of the basketball. I think Duke will be very competitive on the glass. And then you add to the fact that this is a revenge spot for Duke as they lost to Kansas last season in a close one. I got to roll with Duke in this one and lay the points. Next up, the final game we're to talk about for Tuesday, Purdue, Fort Wayne, and Utah. This one is 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Now, I really don't love laying a lot of points with bad defenses, and I think that's what we see here in Utah, a team ranked outside the top 100 in adjusted defensive efficiency. They have not forced a lot of turnovers. They've given up a lot of high percentage looks to their opponents via the three-point line and even two-point field goals down low, and they've given up 70-plus points in 3 of their first 4 games. They've given up a good amount of points, to start the season, despite playing not so tough teams. I mean, they played some solid mid-major schools, but you'd expect a lot better defensively for Utah against San Jose State, Weber State, Sam Houston, and Holy Cross, and all of that is despite these 4 teams combining for just under 60% from the free throw line. I mean, you could argue that Utah's defense has been quite fortunate, quite lucky with those teams struggling so badly at the free throw line, and yet Utah's defense is still giving up a good amount of points to these schools. So now you face a very capable Purdue-Fort Wayne offense that I think will be able to score for 40 minutes consistently in this one. The question is, can Purdue-Fort Wayne's defense bounce back from a pretty ugly showing in the second half of their last game against Western Michigan, in a game where Purdue-Fort Wayne was in the driver's seat in the first half, and there was a complete collapse in the second half, leading to the win for the other side. And Utah's offense should be able to put up a good amount of points in this game. I still think they do enough here. I don't think they get enough stops defensively to cover this large spread. So give me Purdue-Fort Wayne plus the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in college hoops. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, including that daily college basketball bank shop best bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at Pickdawgz.com, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.